one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power, invisible, yet we see it everywhere in everything. There's one power, indescribable, yet we speak of it in every word we say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your son. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power.
Let's join our hearts together. And if you'd like, let my words be yours. Today, as we gather together, we make a choice. And my choice today is to recognize the divine in me. The one power, the one presence of life within. With each breath, I move in harmony with my inner being. It is from this place that I know love. It is from this place that I know peace. It is from this inner place that I know joy. As I align with the divine within, I recognize and connect with the divine in all of life. As I see the good in me, I see the good in others. Even as temporary illusions of separation and fear may arise, I am grounded in the truth of this love, the truth of this peace, and the truth of this joy, and so it is.
It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, oh, it's one power. It's the power of the love that lives in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power.
This being human is a guest house. every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to see you all today. I decided to write down my announcements so I wouldn't forget. We have so many exciting things going on. Today will be our third day that Steve Mason is coming down to complete our songwriting workshop, so let's give it up for him. He has been an incredible facilitator, and really the kids have been, he has really facilitated them through the process of getting their ideas and some lyrics from them. So today we'll get to hear that, so we're very excited about that. Next week is our Hospitality Sunday, and it also happens to be Mother's Day. So in addition to celebrating all the mothers in the house, we will also be celebrating Betty Thornsbury and really dedicating our hospitality to her. So feel free to invite your own mothers and families and everybody in spirit as well. The following Sunday after that, May 20th, we have our annual parents meeting, which will happen right here in the sanctuary after the 11 o'clock service, so from 12:30 to 1:30. And we are so blessed to have so many musicians in the house. And Brian Gillum and Pam, who last week, some of you may have noticed, they led us in a youth blessing out back on the land. They are going to lead the kids in a workshop on May 20th. While the parents are in the meeting, they'll lead the kids in a music and drumming workshop. So that's super exciting. So, and then last but not least, for those of you who have kids who will be attending either kids camp or Unitreat, make sure that you get your paperwork into either Stacy or I today, or at least talk to us to let us know what's going on if you need more time or anything like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender.
Well, good morning and welcome to Unity Lynnwood. I'm so glad that you are here. What we know is that this is a place where you are welcomed with open arms to say, come on in, make yourself comfortable. Well, all up until the time of our morning speaker, either Dr. Richard or Rabbi Ted, when they might make you a little uncomfortable, but that's just all part of the process. As always, no matter what your faith tradition might be or no faith tradition whatsoever, we want you to know that this is a place where you can take the next step in your spiritual journey. Just last night, Dr. Richard and I were talking with one of our members, and she was saying during one of the very first activities here at Unity in Lynnwood, she learned and participated in the chicken dance. Now, you know the chicken dance, yes? Da, 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 da. You know it well. She said that when she learned that, she participated in that, she said she knew she had found her spiritual home. And Dr. Richard said, "You're telling me that it was the chicken dance that made the difference?" And I said to Dr. Richard, "Remember, there are many spiritual paths on the way to the ultimate truth." So, there you go. In addition to teaching and practicing the chicken dance on occasion, we also practice service here at Unity in Lynnwood. And today is Sacred Service Sunday, and we practice service as a powerful spiritual discipline. Please welcome to the platform our Associate Minister, the Reverend Nina Clark.
Cheryl Jones? Cheryl Jones, are you in the... would you come up, please? Congregation, would you stand if you're able? Thank you. And physical activity is a part of service. We get to practice today. Would you take your right hand and stick it out in front of you? This will all make sense in just a moment. Put your right hand in for service, put your right hand out to help. Put your right hand in for service and give service a tryout. Do some service, it will cheer you up, no doubt. That's what it's all about. You put your left hand in for service, put your left hand out to help. Put your left hand in for service and give service a tryout. Do some service, it will cheer you up, no doubt. That's what it's all about. Just thought we'd shake it up a little bit different here. Today I'd like to invite to the platform two of our new members, Michelle Van Eyck and Sandy Gayros, who have jumped right into service, and I asked if they would share a little bit about what service means to them. Would you give us a welcome there?
Hello. When I decided that UIL was going to be my home, I knew that I needed to do something to keep me from going to my fearful, introverted shell that I have. Yeah. So I went to Reverend Nina, and I told her that I wanted to volunteer to combat this issue I have. She suggested the welcoming team, so I started my volunteering with the welcome team the second or third week I started to come to UIL. This position has really opened my eyes to the human experience of connection and how we are all united together. It is on the faces that brighten and smile when you look at them. It's in the person's reaction of surprise and delight when you remember their name. It's in the hug or handshake that you extend the person as they walk into the door. It's when after warmly greeting them, they look at you and say, "Thank you for that. I really needed that today." Herman Melville wrote, "We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connects us with our fellow men. And among those fibers, as sympathetic threads, our actions run as causes, and they become back to us as effects. And that is why I serve."
Hello, my name is Sandy, and in the words of Patricia Churchill, she wrote, "Being engaged in some way for the good of the community, whatever that community, is a factor in a meaningful life. We long to belong, and belonging and caring anchors our sense of place in the universe." And I couldn't have agreed more. I really didn't know what to expect when I came to Unity in Lynnwood, but what I found was a deep sense of belonging and a sense of having found a place where I was invited and welcome to show up just as I am. And even though it was my very first time, it really felt like home. And it was such an amazing, profound experience for me, the sense of belonging, that I wanted to deepen that. And so I decided the best way to do that would be to get involved and to participate more. And so I found myself volunteering. And I am on the odds and ends team. And it's a great team. You get to do odd little things that help support the community. And it's really easy. The email comes out asking for help. And if you're inclined and interested and available, you can say yay or nay. So no pressure. And I'm also on the Welcoming Angel team. And that's where, when we have visiting guests and musicians, guest speakers and musicians, we get to be a part of welcoming them and making sure that they're taken care of and appreciated and supported in every way we can. And it's also as the added benefit of allowing me to have a little more personal time with them, to get to know them. So that's great. And so overall, I've been very surprised at how much I'm enjoying being a volunteer. It helps me not only build deeper relationships and friendships, but to feel more of a connected, personal belonging to the church. So that's why I volunteer. Thank you.
Cheryl has another extra special thank you today, too.
So, speaking of service, no, I'm not going to do it as an ad for getting people to do the grounds, but anyway, I actually wanted to thank our board. They have really served us this weekend. I don't know how many of you were at the dance on Friday night. It was wonderful. It was just amazing. And then yesterday, we had a delightful meal for Cinco de Mayo for the people who had bid on that for the auction. So a big thank you to our board for their sacrifice and service. You're sure appreciated. Thank you.
Just want to thank everybody, Michelle and Sandy and Cheryl, for doing the hokey pokey with me. And if any of you want to do the hokey pokey in service, just see me whenever you like. Thank you.
Not only do we support each other with service here, but we support each other with prayer. And sometimes we think about prayer as a mental activity, which it is for sure, but it's also sometimes can be considered the way that we show up in this life with our actions. Charles Fillmore says this: "One truth statement understood and demonstrated in life is worth more than many lessons and statements about truth." If you would like some prayer support, there are a variety of ways you can get that here. There is a prayer card in the seat back in front of you. You can fill that out and put it in the offering basket as it goes by later in the service. Or you can, anytime during the week, call our confidential prayer line or leave a prayer request on our website. If you'd like a time of personal prayer, you can meet with one of our prayer chaplains at the end of this service just by coming down here to the front, and you'll recognize them. They're wearing purple prayer stools around their neck, and they would love to meet you in a time of personal prayer. I'd love to recognize them this morning. Our prayer chaplains, could you stand up so we can see who you are this morning? Thank you for your gift to our community. Today's affirmation you will see here. And this is an affirmation that we don't just say on Sunday. This can be a mantra all week long. It will be a mantra that will lift you up and move you forward and know that you have power to take on any situation that comes to you in this life. That which exists within me is ample to all which stands before me. If you'd like, will you stand and join me in that? And together, that which exists within me is ample to all which stands before me. That's the truth. Let's take a moment, greet those around us, and we'll come back for some music.
get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are loved, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood, and good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. And good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. I delight in your presence. Thank you for being here this morning. I'd like to begin by offering you a thank you. We just welcomed a bevy of new members this past week, and when I hear such rhetoric as feels like home and a sense of belonging and the ability to show up as I am, I turn to you with thanks. For while I can be the voice that says, are you certain that you want to build that fence there, you're the ones who have to move the fence. You're the ones who have to do it, and you do it beautifully. So thank you. I'm standing upon the seashore. A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the moving breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty. She is an object of strength. I stand and watch until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and the sky come to mingle one with the other. Then someone at my side says, there, she's gone. Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She's just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and she's just as able to bear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size, you see, is in me. It's not in her. And just at the moment when someone says, there she is gone, there are other eyes watching her coming and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, here she comes. And that, my friends, is dying. Let's take a deep breath as our beloved brother, Gary Sullivan, moved beyond our sight on April 24th. And so while to that physical expression of soul that we knew him to be, to that part of him, to that very limited part, we might say ashes to ashes and dust to dust, but to that part of him that is life. We simply say farewell. We say Godspeed. We say so long. And so it is. Cameron Sullivan, we stand with you, my brother. We stand with your family. A little extra love is always, always appropriate. I'd like to invite you to join Father Dan Duval for an inclusive Eucharistic liturgy in the Franciscan tradition of hospitality and unity. Would you wave to these kind people, Father Dan? And Reverend Karuna Duval for a new experience, which is entitled Death Cafe. Eat, drink, and talk about death with the intention of helping us make the most of our finite lives now. Sounds like a worthwhile conversation. Reverend Karuna Duval, will you wave to these kind people, please? It's no mistake that Father Dan Duval and Reverend Karuna Duval are seated side by side. I'll let you figure out the details of that. our new Artists Hallway coordinator, Nelia Fiardo, generously donated a beautiful work of art this past week. It's called 7 Rays of the Ascended Masters. What a rich gift. Nelia, we thank you. We thank you. If you would like to present during the June art show in the Artists Hallway, please grab an informational postcard from the Welcome and Information Center. It offers you the guidelines and what is required for submission. And finally, tickets are now on sale for the Love America Tour Seattle. We are, of course, proud to be the sponsoring and hosting organization of Marianne Williamson's Pacific Northwest presentation. Visit the Edmonds Center for the Arts website to purchase your tickets. We're doing something creative this morning. It's the first time that's ever happened. Rabbi Ted has agreed to allow me simply to present questions for his perusal before this studio audience.
They are true and false, right?
Yes, they're true and false. This will be a 90-second lesson today. It's oh, my heavens. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. What an honor. At 9 o'clock, I asked about the Jungian idea, what we resist persists. You should have been there. Wow. So if you missed that, I invite you to travel backward in time or watch it on Facebook, whichever is easiest for you. I've selected an entirely different set of questions for 11 o'clock that Rabbi Ted would not become stale. Would you like to offer some introductory words to these kind people? My brother, my teacher, my teacher.
I noticed you turned it on this time. You had to have been there, right? I love being here. And I love that Dr. Richard and Matthew and Nancy Joy and everybody loves being here. This is, you know, I do circuit kind of. A lot of times, if I'm not here, you know I'm somewhere.
Boy, there's a universal truth in there somewhere. If I'm not here, I'm there.
I'm always here, you know.
Yes, that's true.
It's just my here is not here.
Well, you say that now.
I do. I forgot what I was supposed to... Oh. So in Jewish tradition, we start a journey with Passover of working to free ourselves from our enslavement. And our enslavement, it's like every year we notice those spaces that we have limited ourselves, or those places we experience being victim, or whatever it is, whatever we have to, or we dare to stand out of. But it's a journey to get to a place of awakening. And in Jewish tradition, the place of awakening is 50 days later. And that's Shavuot, which is standing at Sinai. In Christian tradition, it's called Pentecost. Again, it's 50 days. And on that journey of 50 days, every day carries a different energy. So it's kind of a meditative, supportive path. And today starts the 6th week, so the second last week. And the energies of this week focus on ego. And the specific energies of this day receive in ego from the ever-flowing stream of consciousness. It's what we call the ever-flowing stream of love. Not love as a feeling, but love as this incredible offering. We don't have to do anything. And it just flows to us if we're open. That's my introduction.
It's a good one.
And I just thought that this would be a perfect time for a question. One of the difficulties of being a speaker is that we have to try to divine what people want to hear. The truth of the matter is we only have one thing to say. And we try to dress it up in whatever interesting ways we can. But it's ultimately the only one thing. So how are we going to dress it up today?
Are you ready?
No. Sure.
Are you ready?
Yes. If I can't answer it, you will.
Thank you. Thank you. Next Sunday happens to be Mother's Day. It also happens to converge with Stevie Wonder's birthday. Can you even imagine? That's all I'm going to say about that. Rabbi Ted's segment will close with a meditation. Matthew's written a new chant for the morning. You're most welcome to sing along. All parts of the chant are 3 words, which are sung forward and then backward. 11 o'clock, let me tell you about my week. Are you ready? Yes. Our cat of 19 years passed away. Then our Otis developed a series of symptoms, from partial blood to full blood to ultrasound to x-ray to all manner of less glamorous tests navigated among numerous doctors who I suspect now ride share in a new Jaguar. All reveal that he is a clinically healthy dog whose temperature just happens to spike as high as 105.5 degrees, leaving him lethargic, leaving him semi-functional. While he's currently enjoying some relief from heavy doses of prednisone, the doctors still have no answers. And then we own this lovely old Lincoln Continental. Now, lovely being my choice of descriptors, you see. Matthew would say that it smells like a hair salon permanent. I, on the other hand, would describe this car as a house on wheels, a very, very comfortable house on wheels. To this day, I love pulling up to the drive-thru window, pretending to talk on the huge built-in telephone with the curly wire. Well, we finally committed to replacing the suspension on the Lincoln Continental. It was a $1,000 repair on a $500 car. And from the morning following the repair, the car won't start. So let me tell you about my week indeed. And while I no longer relate to the temptation to immediately label things as good or bad, I'm certainly willing to say that the week didn't go as I would have planned it. So we're going to let Rabbi Ted think about this for a minute. We have a song, but the request is this. Can you speak into that creative process, or perhaps speak into the amount of control that we really wield over stuff and things and circumstances? Or more specifically, what might you offer about those junctures?
It's easy for you to say.
What can you say about those junctures at which life doesn't go the way we planned? Has anybody ever had one of those?
I hope it's a long song.
This horizon, let the sun His light warm my face. Once again, the times are changing. Once again, I've lost my way. While the words of ancient poets fall like dust upon my shoes, grief has robbed me of my vision, turned my heart from higher truths. So take my hand and lift me higher. Be my love and my desire. Hold me safe and honor bound. Take my heart to higher ground. I have walked too long in darkness. I have walked too long alone, blindly clutching fists of diamonds that I found were only stones. I would trade the wealth of ages for a warmer hand to hold. The path of light is narrow, but it leads to streets of gold. So take my hand and lift me higher. Be my love and my desire. Hold me safe and honor bound. Take my heart to higher ground. In this world we move through shadows, never sure of what we see. While the truth that lies between us, come and share this truth with me. So take my hand and lift me higher. Be my love and my desire. Hold me safe and honor bound. Take my heart to higher, higher ground.
This is actually the first morning that I've gotten to speak on a Sunday since the sanctuary has gotten stoned. There's a certain kind of freedom that I'm the one who never exhaled. What was that line about shift happening? No, you remember it. I asked you to write it down. Oh. It was a good line. You wrote it down. It's on your phone. Every once in a while, I accidentally say a line that I go, oh, I'd like to remember that. Would you write it down? See? Is that a line? Shift happens when we stop shoulding. I mean, if you said that, wouldn't you want somebody to write it down? And you got to pronounce it very carefully. But that line came to mind with, because we actually go through our lives shoulding. We should all over the place. Everybody has to clean up our Oh, God. You're not going to do this again, are you?
I should.
Ruth said that you and I should go on the road. She did. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell the same story I accidentally told earlier today. So those of you who were here, see if I get it right the second time. I don't know how many of you have Keurig coffee makers. That's the thing that you put the little pod in. They now make these pods that are totally recyclable. So one day this week, I was getting ready to do my my morning ritual, and the call came in that I took, and it was a friend who had lost her mother and wanted to talk about making a memorial in New York. And it wound up being a long conversation, and I didn't get my regular, now I do water, and then I do my smoothie, and then I do my coffee. And I thought, I'm going to just do my coffee, straight for the good stuff. And so it's a one-on machine. So I put in the water, and I put in the pod, and then I sat down at the desk, and I was doing some work, and I was listening to it chugging along. And it stopped chugging, and I looked forward to my own chugging, and I got up to get and I discovered that the cup was sitting right next to the but I had successfully put in the water and the coffee. I have a very clean counter now. Smells slightly like coffee. Is that the coffee? Oh, no, thank you very much. Yeah. No. And I thought, for whatever reason, I didn't get upset, I watched it. And it was like, that's interesting. you know, like obviously my attention was elsewhere. I mean, God knows how many other times my attention is elsewhere. And that was pretty benign, you know, considering things that can surprise us and things that can go wrong. I don't know if you have things in your life that you use as monitors of where you are in consciousness. I have those, and one of my favorite ones, or least favorite, however you want to look at it, is the recycling bin at our condo. Because if I ever, when I want to test, like how clear I am, all I have to do is open it and look in to see what people put in it. It says empty out bags, and it's full of bags. It says break down boxes, and there are huge boxes, so that by the end of the week, they're overflowing. There's no more room. There are items that don't belong in there. And it's often that I open it up and get distressed and think, was somebody calling? I've got a competing speaker back here. And sometimes I'm able to look in the recycling bin and go, oh, I'm living among people who are often just as unconscious as I am. And I may be unconscious about other things, and they're unconscious about this thing. And of what value is it going to be for me to get upset? Other than righteous indignation. I don't know how you are, but righteous indignation is just so pleasing. So we go through weeks, and we go through years where stuff happens that we say should not be happening, which is a really interesting statement. It's like the sun should not rise. Stuff happens, and an awful lot of it we have no control over, and it just bugs us. I said that this is the week where we focus on our ego. And our ego is a construct that we have created to ensure in whatever way we could our survival as separate beings. In many ways, it's a response to the environment in which we found ourselves so that we could get as much nourishment as possible. And you could see some of us got nourishment by being compliant, some of us got nourishment by being obstreperous, not compliant. You could see that even in a family, you know, but everybody's after the same thing, survival. And of course, we were successful. You know, I mean, we're here. And each and every one of us in our own ways carries wounds. It's one of the features of having an ego. It's one of the features of living in a world where stuff happens. And it happens to us, it happens to those we love, it happens to the world, it happens to all kinds of people, it happens to children. And I don't know how you are, but sometimes I feel the weight of it. And sometimes I feel despair about things getting better. And when I do, I know that I'm caught. I know that I have slipped into defining myself by the conditions I am experiencing rather than defining myself as the one who is experiencing those conditions. And you know it in yourself. It's a very interesting slip into it. When we're in a sudden pain, where we're in a sudden loss, when we're in a sudden fear, that loss, that pain has us. We don't have, there's no we that has the pain, the fear, and the loss. And part of the healing is to realize that there's more happening right here than that. There's someone who has the pain. There's someone who sees and feels the loss. And that one is bigger than that specific pain or that specific loss. One of the ways we do that is by talking to each other and sharing our feelings. It's one of the reasons why community is so critical and friendship is so critical. Because the mere act of sharing elevates us to the one who has the problem. Now I can talk about it. That's very different than I am owned by my condition. And you all know exactly what I'm talking about. What do we do about those things that we experience, those things that we see, those things that we feel that we can't fix? I mean, obviously we fix what we can fix, but there's all kinds of stuff we can't fix. How do we climb out of hopelessness? How do we climb out of despair? How do we climb out and claim a greater identity that is more than any specific condition? In a lot of ways, the piece that Dr. Richard read about the ship reminded me of a Sufi little story that my colleague Imam Jamal Rahman often shares. When we came into this world, we were crying and crying, and everyone around us was laughing and laughing. Live such a life that when we depart from this world, everyone around us is crying and crying, and we are laughing and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
But we can only do that if we utilize our time in this strange condition of embodiment to wake up. And ultimately, our awakening depends on the extent to which we are willing to accept what is. And sometimes that accepting what is painful, and sometimes it's joyful. And that's how it is, because on this level of reality, there's up and down, there's sweet and bitter. We know everything by contrast. For some years, I studied a process called rebirthing with a guy named Leonard Orr, and he used to say that things get better and better and better until we say things just can't get any better, and they don't. And then things get worse and worse and worse until we say things can't get any worse, and they don't. And there is this roller coaster, and we could see it in all our lives in whatever respect. Some of us keep it pretty narrow because we don't want to go down too far, and that means we don't go up too far. And some of us do like roller coasters and are willing to engage in that ride. But that's an outer ride, and that's not all that's going on here. And one of the things that I love about this place, and one of the things I love about unity, is the very same thing I love about the spiritual aspects of my own tradition, and that is, hey, this is a bigger adventure. There's much more going on here that meets the eye, but there's the more that's going on here meets the I. One of my favorite teachings from another one of the first century teachers, a teacher named Hillel, said, Im ein ani li mili, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? Like, if I wake up in a body, I do have a responsibility to take care of myself. I mean, uch she'ani la'atzmi ma'ani. He's saying, but if I am only for myself, what have I done with my I? And the particular word for self, atzmi, etzem is bone. He's talking about if I limit my I to my physical being, what have I done to my I? And if not now, when? I love that, because that's like, wake up, wake up, wake up. There's a story about the Buddhist monk who was at a social event, and he was sitting there, and all of a sudden he starts laughing. And he's laughing and laughing and laughing. And somebody says to him, what are you laughing at? And he says, there's just so much happiness and there's so much joy in the world. How could I not laugh? The time goes on, and pretty soon they see he's weeping. And they say to him, how come you're weeping? And he says, how could I not weep? There's so much sadness and there's so much pain in the world. How could I not weep? We would like to have lives where we never have to weep. We'd like to be able to be born and not have to die. God, it would be awful. I mean, talk about overcrowding. So we're on this radical adventure, and it seems to me that the radical adventure has to do with remembering, celebrating, and expressing the one we are, and being willing to notice when we have collapsed into conditions, and when we have lost ourselves, and when we have to awaken and support each other in awakening. So it's never saying to each other, don't be sad, or don't be unhappy, or don't worry. It's saying to each other, yes. Yes. Whatever you're feeling, you're feeling. Whatever you're seeing, you're seeing. Whatever you're experiencing, you're experiencing. It's not no, it's always yes, and it's always and. And who is the one experiencing it? At moments of deep blessing, and I know all of you know such moments, just moments of such rightness and such gratitude. I'm so glad to be here. We know that this moment could not be without everything that we've experienced being exactly as it has been. And at those moments, we're able to bring it all into the space of blessing. Not a space of denial, not a space of shoulding it to be different, but just a space of blessing. We need each other to help us remember. And it's one of the precious realities of a community like this. And I'm grateful to be able to share a moment of meditation with Dr. Richard and Matthew. Well, you could do it too. So you might want to take a gentle breath. And if you like, kind of settle in and notice what you're doing with your eye right now. How your eye is doing in your body. How your eye is doing in your mind. How your eye is doing with your memories. How your eye is doing with your dreams.
Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Still be peace. Still be peace. Still be peace. Still be peace.
Sometimes it's a matter of simply noticing the words, knowing that we are the ones who arrange their order. We're the ones who pick what words we will speak. We can choose what words we will hold in our minds, what moments we will hold in our hearts, what visions we will celebrate, calling us toward them.
Be here now. Be here now. Be here now. Be here now. Now here be. Now here be. Now here be. Now here be.
Every moment, an opportunity to notice the now. Each moment remarkably new, remarkably fresh, inviting us to release a past moment that we might celebrate a now of freedom, a now of love, a now of possibility.
You are love. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. Loved are you.
each moment, allowing ourselves to be held in that greater identity that holds us all, a space of infinite possibility, a space of infinite love, a space of infinite compassion, yearning to be received, yearning to be shared, yearning to be celebrated.
Peace be still. 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 Still be peace. Peace be still. Still be peace. Peace be still. Still be peace. Peace be still. Still be peace.
Thank you, Rabbi Ted. Thank you for your words. I know I speak for all of us. We so appreciate what you bring here, and not only your words and your lessons to us, but the I that provides the words and the lessons. Thank you. Now's a time where we have an opportunity to give. Charles Fillmore says this about the power of giving. He says, if we have freely received, we must also freely give and keep the substance going, confident in our understanding that our supply is unlimited and that it is always right at hand. Thank you for your gifts.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Let's bless these gifts together. Thank you, God, that your living spirit of truth expressing through each of us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. Every Sunday, we love to have the opportunity to say hello and welcome to anyone who might be visiting us for the first time. We don't want to put you on the spot, but if you want to be recognized, if you want to put your hand in the air, we'll give you some applause. Anyone here for the first time? Anyone? 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 Yeah, we're clapping. My hand's up. Well, if you are new or newer to our community, I just want to let you know about a couple different things. One is there's a newcomer's information card in the seat back in front of you, and there's also a stay in touch card where you can put your contact information, or if you have done that before but your information has changed, you can use that card to do that, and that will amount in a couple emails each month. I love that we're all a part of this community, that we all come and gather here on Sunday mornings to celebrate life, to explore the mysteries of life and the potentials of life, and that we get to do that with each other as we take our steps forward on the spiritual journey. And I love that we have such great music and such profound speakers. This is a gift in our community, so thank you to each of you. You have a necessary and unique contribution to it, know that. We have several announcements to do today about things going on. Today's beautiful flowers are dedicated by Cindy and Butch Gallagher. Thank you for those, in honor of Cindy's mother, Lynette, and by Mavis Brandt in loving memory of Garrick Brandt and Mike Thomas. If you'd like to dedicate flowers, please register in the gift shop for only $10. And UIL's Health Ministry invites you to join Nancy Joy Callahan, a licensed instructor and consultant, for 2 events. Body Brain Tune-Up, this informative experiential workshop for all ages facilitates whole brain function with simple, integrative movements of brain gym to reduce stress, facilitate learning, enhance memory, and help improve communication and relationships. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? A short video of Bruce Lipton explaining and recommending the movements will be included today at 1 p.m. And please bring a blanket or yoga mat for the uplifting movement experience called The Body is the Temple of the Soul on Wednesday, May 9th. Adult education continues starting this Tuesday at 7 p.m. with The History of New Thought. From the mental healing and prosperity movements of the mid-1800s through the rise of transcendentalism through the beginnings of unity itself, explore how this history still applies to our spiritual journeys. Reverend Nina Clark facilitates, thank you for that, and the book is available at a discount. And register at unityandlynnwood.org for our all-community retreat themed Divine Audacity, Embody Your True Self, with acclaimed author and director of Silent Unity, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsitt. Reserved Friday and Saturday, June 22nd and 23rd. The $99 registration includes all materials and meals and is open to the first 50 registrants. And if you've ever wanted to offer thoughts about a provocative idea or a rewarding experience here at Unity in Lynnwood in general, please see Madison Clark in the family room following the service. She would like to capture your thoughts on video for possible use in promotions. No preparation is necessary, only an open heart, and we have plenty of those. And finally, representing UIL's local humanitarian outreach team, please welcome Daniel and Diane for an invitation.
Thank you, Ken. Good morning, Unity. Did everybody get kissed this morning when they came in? Yeah? On behalf of your humanitarian outreach team? We are stronger together than we are as individuals, and I am happy to announce our first UIL blood drive next week, and I have to tell you a quick little story here. We were initially going to do this announcement to plead to people to come out, thinking we'd get 10 or 12 volunteers. Right now, we have 25 of the 30 spots filled, so give yourself a round of applause. But we still have spots available, and Diane has a few more details.
So we have a blood mobile coming next Sunday. It'll be here from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you'd like to sign up, there's lots. The most spots available are after this service, which is perfect for you. Come back and greet us at the back of the sanctuary. You can meet Daniel, myself, or Rosalie. Sorry, I hear Yeah, I realize I'm not close enough to the mic. Or come back and get more chocolate kisses from us. So we'll see you there.
Thank you. And of course, for all details for all of these events, you can visit our welcome and information station. You can read it in your printed program. You can visit our Facebook page or the calendar page of our website at unityandlynnwood.org.
You'll join me, we'll sing our peace song. If you have not attended a Memorial Day Sunday with us yet, please read the introductory article in your program. I want your stories. I want your stories. Take a deep breath with me. If there's a first name of any soul whom you would like to introduce into this powerful consciousness of love and support, please speak it now. So we say yes. We say yes. We say yes. On behalf of all names, whether issued with the human tongue or the human heart, yet again it matters not. To all who have turned anything of a spiritual ear to this very conversation, we say yes. We stand with you. We stand for you. We do not tarry and dally in the shallow waters of apparent limitation and semi-truth, but rather we invite you to the deeper waters of truth, life, wisdom, love. This is where we stand. This is where we stand with you. This is where we stand for you on your behalf. And from this consciousness, from this understanding, from this place, it's with great faith and boldness that we lift together our voices and speak these closing words. The light of God surrounds us. Love of God enfolds us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
The light of God surrounds us, the power of God protects, the presence of God watches over us, and all is well. The love of God enfolds us, wherever we are, God is. We are safe, we are cherished, and all is well. It's a puppy chorus. All is well.
Oh, dog is good. We close our time together as we always do by speaking our words, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is.